The JEE Advanced exam is one of the toughest exams in the world, and this is one of its hardest math questions, so let's try to solve it in 5 minutes. It's asking us for something about p of x, and p of x depends on g of theta, which depends on f of theta, as you can see. So let's solve this first. So what is the determinant of this? Look at the first cofactor, it's 1, so it's like 1 minus the multiplication of this, so that becomes 1 plus sine square theta. Then we have we do the same thing with sine of theta, and when we do that we'll see it's negative sine of theta plus sine of theta, which is 0, so that doesn't matter to us. It becomes 0. With 1 we get sine square theta plus 1 again, so we have 2 times this, and there's a 1/2 in front, so it's 1/2 times this, which gives us 1 plus sine square theta. So that was pretty quick. Now let's do the same thing here, but we see a trick. Sine of pi is just 0, this is also 0, and this is also 0, which simplifies things quite a bit. Now continue with the determinants, that's negative, and that gives us negative cosine of theta plus pi over 4. And now what are we multiplying that by? We're multiplying it by this minus this, but this is 0, so it's minus of this times this, so the minuses make it a plus. Cot, it's the same angle. Cot is cosine of something of a sine of something, so we can write it as this. And now we multiply by the natural log of 4 over pi. Okay, so we multiply by that. Now what do we add? We do the same thing with tan, right? So now we can ignore this, and now we just focus on this. So this part is again going to be 0, so it's just this, plus tan of theta minus pi over 4 times this, so times this product. So sine of theta minus pi over 4 times tan of theta minus pi over 4 is sine squared of theta minus pi over 4 over cosine of the same, and then that is multiplied by natural log of pi over 4. Now pause the video and see if you can find this yourself, but this, we call this x and this x, then this becomes x minus pi over 2, and then same thing with that. So this, since sine of x is equal to cosine of x minus pi over 2, or 90 minus pi over 2 actually, this will, we can make this cosine squared and this sine squared, which will make this the exact same. Okay, so we can now factor that out, so we'll factor this out and multiply by natural log of 4 over pi. So pause the video and try to rewatch that part or do it on your own, but I'm going to try to hurry now. So this is what we have. By logarithm properties, this is natural log of 1, which is equal to 0, which makes this entire thing equal to 0. So this is what f of theta is. So let's see g of theta. G of theta is equal to the square root of this minus 1. So it's the square root of sine square theta, which is just sine of theta, plus what is the square root? What is f of pi over 2 minus theta? That's just 1 plus cosine squared of theta, from the same thing that we did to make this jump. So that's cosine squared of theta, the square root of that, so cosine of theta. Now let's see what is p of x. It's a quadratic, so p of x is equal to a, and the roots are the minimum and maximum, so a times x minus 1, because that's when one of them is 0 and one is 1. The maximum is when both are root 2 over 2, so that gives us x minus root 2. And now we're given this, so if we put in 2, this becomes 2, this becomes 1, and then this becomes 2 minus root 2. So a must be 1 as well. So p of x is equal to just this. So that's pretty simple. Now what are we asked to find? Now we need to check all of these. So this is more than 1, so this would be positive, and this would be negative, so it would be less than 0, so that's correct. This is again more than 1, so this would be positive, but this is less than root 2 over 2, right? This would have to be root 2 to make it root 2, because it would be 4 root 2 over 4. It's less, so this is going to be negative, so this is wrong. C, 5 root 2 minus 1, so that's again over 4, sorry, more than 1 and more than root 2. So this is positive and this is positive, so C is also true. And this one is just less than 1, so this is negative. Okay, so this is a new one, negative, and this one is also of course negative, so this is actually positive. Okay, so it isn't less than 0, so this is also wrong, which means the final answer is A, C.